So Martin, thanks for bringing your 964 down.
Absolute pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth stuck into this.
Yeah,
teeth stuck into it?
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah, we'll say
that. Yeah, so let's start with, what's your Porsche journey? How did you come across the brand? Why is it got under your skin?
Well, I think as a kid, I just loved cars throughout everything I did. I always have little matchbox cars, always playing with them. Mm-hmm. Every computer game I ever had was always a car game, always getting into that. And then you see Porsches on there and you're like, oh, I really want one of them. And then I got to a certain stage in my career where I could actually now afford a Porsche. So my first one I had was a 996 4S.
Yeah.
Which was lovely. I did really enjoy it. It was good fun. That was like I could happily have that as a daily. Like no questions asked.
It's a great car. That do anything, do it all. Really kind of car.
It does everything. And then after that, I saw a 1986 911G.
Nice.
So I had one of them for a little while. That's really fun, but it didn't have the G50 gearbox, so that was a really interesting drive in second gear, especially into second gear, which was a bit of a pain and a hard. Yeah,
915s are kind of notorious for being. I mean, they're great gearboxes when they're well looked after and freshly rebuilt, freshly broken in.
Exactly that.
But they don't age as well as G50s because they kind of need more delicacy.
They need them more. Exactly.
And second gear is really tough on that.
Yeah, and I bought it because it was 86 and that was the year I was born, so it was like kind of like a little nostalgia thing for me to have that. So I had that for a while, which was really cool. Yeah. And then I ended up selling that and then buying this. Okay. So it took me a long time to find this car.
Yeah. So you've been on quite a road with Porsche.
Yeah, I've had a couple of other ones, but this is like the classic side of it. I like this is the Porsche I love is the classic Porsches.
Okay. So the air cooled is where your heart is.
Air cooled is where my heart is for sure. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just I think for me personally, I think the 964 is probably the nicest looking classic Porsche made, I think, personally, as my own opinion, being very biased, obviously, because I got this car. But I just think the shape of it is beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's very cool, for sure. So what year is the car?
91.
91?
Yes. So it's quite early on.
Yeah, it is.
Really early on.
They came out in 1990, the turbos,
yeah, that's right, yeah. So it's really early on. Yeah. And it's actually quite good. It's 91, but it's got 70,000 on the clock, so it's still pretty young.
So barely broken in, really.
Yeah, exactly that. Barely broken in, exactly that, yeah.
Okay, nice. So 1990 car.
Yeah, so I picked up from JZM. Over around in Watford sort of way, and it took me ages to find it, like I said, and this one came up and I was like, I need to get this.
Yeah, it ticks all the right boxes.
Yeah, it ticked all the right boxes. There's a couple of things I want to change on it, but that's obviously like everything, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you want to change?
I'm still umming about the seats. The person prior to me put the 930 turbo seats in there because he wanted the more hugging feel to the 964 turbo seats.
Okay, well let's get straight into the interior, why not? We usually start with the exterior.
But yeah, nice.
Well. Yeah. So originally it came with comfort seats. I'm guessing they didn't have the big bolsters.
Exactly that. So they didn't have any big bulk size to it. So for me, I'm still umming and ahhing. I like the way it holds when you're driving it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. But I think without Dave knowing, I want to take it to Dave the trimmer and get some work done to it. Just because it doesn't match. Yeah. And there's no matching.
So just what to get just the sensors
potentially
done.
Just the sensors done. Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty cool though, that script.
It is. The Porsche script is very cool, but I just don't know if it...
No, I know what you mean. I totally agree with you.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. But this is the kind of, you want to save that material because I'm sure you could sell it on for
that's
a
the
few.
Side of it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So that's the main thing I really want to kind of change is either the inners of the seats. I don't think I would change the seats as such. I think they look quite nice in the car.
Yeah, and they have so much lateral support with those bolsters.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
It's a comfortable seat.
It's such a comfy seat. Yeah. That long drives, taking it for like a 5-hour drive and I don't get tired at all. It's great. Okay. So that's one of the things I want to change, I think. But the car itself, I don't know, it's had a full body, full metal respray as well. Okay. So it got taken down. And then back to its original colour. Okay,
let's talk a little bit more about the interior, if that's okay, because I'm spotting a few things here which
please go.
Which aren't factory. So you've got a Momo Mod 7.
Yes, classic Porsche one as well. So really nice. I got it from them. Yeah. It's one of those things, when you buy a house, you'll start buying stuff for the car, buy the stuff for the house before you get the car. So I started doing that for this.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I started buying some stuff for the car before I had the car. Yeah. And that was my first purchase.
It's a really nice steering wheel.
It is really lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Just the offset, bring it a little bit closer.
Yep.
And there was a time where they stopped making them, these ones, and I think they only had the yellow Momo. They didn't have the Porsche script.
Yeah, interesting.
So they've only just started redoing these. I think the last few years or so.
Yeah,
but no, it's really smart.
It's a lovely. It's just it brings everything together. I think.
Yeah,
because you're obviously offset anyway.
Yeah.
Due to everything in the engine, well, in the cooling there.
The only thing I found is actually when you first put in this steering wheel, the first junction you get to, you go for the indicator and you miss it because it's suddenly like a little bit closer, and it's just it doesn't fall to hand in the same way it usually does.
Yeah, I had an embarrassing moment the other day when I took it out where the horn just stayed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cable underneath came out and popped out and just made a circuit. So
that's really smart.
So I feel really sorry for the person in front of me.
So these are available from Porsche.
Correct. Yeah.
Do you mind if I take a pew? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a feel for it.
Yeah. I mean, these are great seats,
especially with the
really
red and the red exterior and everything like that. It kind of works really well.
No, it does. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's a nice
really,
mod.
really
I've still got the original steering wheel for it and everything like that. I've got everything basically. Whatever the person changed prior to me buying it, I've got all those mods for it. Which is always nice to have.
And it's a proper leather interior. It's not the vinyl. This one.
Yeah, exactly that. Really and it's actually really in good condition.
Yeah, it really is as well, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It doesn't really need, and the headliner above you as well. Again, really good condition.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
And so, what stereo is this?
You know what? It's a stereo. Yeah, if you peel that off, it's not a Porsche stereo. Funnily enough.
Okay.
It's a. I can't think of what the brand is now, but again, I never have it on.
Yeah.
I never had that stereo, and I just listened to the noise of the engine.
Fair play.
If I'm honest with you.
Yeah, it looks really period.
The
mass of it and so on.
Exactly that. I can't remember the make of it. It's annoying, but yeah, they stuck a little Porsche sticker on it as well, and it does look really, really period correct.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have. If you said to me that was some kind of Porsche radio, I would have
yeah.
So it looks like it looks a bit like a Becker radio some description. It has that same kind of feel. It might be wrong, but
yeah, I really can't remember the make. I would say peel the Porsche sticker off, but I don't want that.
No. Keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And I see here you've got a silver gear knobs insert.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it just brings a little bit, because there's so much black in the car.
Yeah.
You need something there to break it up, I think, and that silver, it works well.
So I'm trying to think. I think the only other place that you see these are the anniversary editions.
Okay.
But I have a feeling with the anniversary edition behind Tom over there, my one, I have a feeling the silver is slightly different.
Is it?
Anyway, boring, geeky stuff.
Well, no, today, we like to geek about these sort of things.
Sure. And then I see you're running a set of Renline pedals.
Yeah, I like them. They're nice, they're comfy. They are tricky sometimes when you get bulky shoes on them, because your accelerator and brake become very close to each other.
Yeah, true. What size feet are you?
I like to say I'm a 10, but I'm an 8.5.
Okay. Well, I'm size 40, so you have nothing to be.
Oh, there you go. Then that's fine.
To be shy
but
about.
My shoes at the minute are quite bulky, so I do get caught. So normally I put my accelerator foot right down at the bottom.
Yeah. No, I have very small feet. So whenever any of my friends have driven my cars or whatever, they've been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I know. My friend, he's got a R32 Skyline, and he drove this for the first time, and he was just like, bang, slamming on the brake by mistake.
That's cool. Yeah, no, they're really nice, the Renline products.
Yeah, they're great. Again, I've got the originals. I've got the originals at home, but I much prefer these.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And then for the fire extinguisher, I see that it looks like another Renline mount as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's all Renline, so quite a lot of those nice little parts. Okay. And yeah, I'm sure I need to change that fire extinguisher, because you have to change them after a while. But
well, I don't know. The needle's still in the green.
The needle's pretty good, right?
Theoretically, you're okay.
Yeah.
And then what other little bits can I see? I see you've got that looks like an aftermarket.
Yeah, that's very aftermarket.
Yeah.
Again, it's just kind of, I think the owner who had it before me just probably put it in there to fit in with the steering wheel and the pedals, that little bit of silver.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, the rest of it's quite, you've got a little bit of
carbon fibre there as well.
Carbon fibre, yeah, exactly. But most of it's pretty standard, to be honest with you.
No, it's a really nice place to be.
Yeah, isn't it?
It all feels very familiar.
Yeah, and especially with the red seat belts as well, that hit in well with the exterior again. It's just little parts like that that make it really well.
That's really cool. And have you got any more plans of what you want to do on the inside here?
Apart from the trimming, probably not. I'm going to keep it as it is, if I'm honest with you. I really like the cockpit.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it. It's just the trimming of the seats. I just need to work out in my mind what I want to do with it.
Sure.
So either change the rear seats to something clothy, or change everything inside.
I think for it to be more period-esque, it kind of needs the centres done. Really.
It does need the centres done. It does. It just to match with the backs.
But it'd be fun to figure out what you could do with this fabric if you do decide to keep it.
I mean, you can make a bag. You can do whatever you want with
it.
How cool would that be?
No, it would be very cool. Yeah. And I see you've got some sill guards as well.
Yeah, some sill guards again. Yeah, little turbo sill guards as well. It's just little things that pop in the doors when you open them. Really
super cool. So okay, let's talk about the outside. So you were saying that the car had a restoration.
Yeah, it had quite a big restoration. So it came stripped back down to bare metal and a full respray back in the guards red. with several layers of clear coat on it as well to give it a
Super.
bit more of a shine. I think it had 6 overall.
Right, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they kept going back and back and back.
Nice.
And then I think there was a couple of rust spots, obviously, with the classic areas where the water leaks down in here and then a little bit in there. But again, this is a solid car, and it had a full underhaul as well, with all this resealing underneath as well. So it's a pretty rock solid car.
And so that was done by the previous owner, was
Correct,
it?
yeah.
And do you know where the rust areas were? What were the usual problematic
It's
areas?
the usual problematic areas.
So what
Exactly.
things
It wasn't
like
crazy.
around? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, go on.
Yeah, because usually it tends to be around the scuttles here, rear light clusters, and there's always a little bit around here.
Yeah,
and the
exactly
rear
that.
screen
So
as well.
I think majority of the ones were on the clusters here, on the fronts here. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the best thing about the person who had it before me. He's documented everything.
Nice.
So I've got a hard drive full
yeah.
of photos of the whole restoration, and it's just incredible to look at.
Super.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like he's changed all the seals as well, because all the rubbers are the right size, they haven't
exactly
shrunk.
that.
That's like a notorious area where they shrink. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so everything he's done a lot of stuff to this car.
Awesome.
The one thing I'm not a fan of, which I'm surprised you haven't seen, or you probably have.
Yeah, I noticed it, but hadn't.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I
Yeah.
don't know why he decided to put that as a red insert, but each their own, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
I just haven't had a chance to go around and get
Change
a
it.
proper one, really.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the rubber shrinks over
It's
time.
crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, huh? And
It's
how
just-
hard it's gotten as well.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then, so obviously, as you can tell, the car never came with those wheels on as well, the speed lines.
Yeah, so tell me about the speed lines.
So the speed lines are original and they
Yeah.
are legit,
Yeah.
with invoice to come with it as well, which is pretty scary to see on the invoice, right?
Yeah, what is it, around 10,000?
I think he paid 15 for them.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, new from Porsche?
New from Porsche, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Came
think you can
over.
still get them today.
You can, yeah. He's got them new. It's like a original new, if that makes sense, right?
Sure, got it. New old stock.
Yeah, new old stock, exactly that. So he bought them from Porsche itself. They shipped them over for him, paid like 15 grand for them.
Jeez.
And I've got the originals again back home in case I do want them for a winter wheel or, you know what I mean? But you just can't beat those.
I mean, they're a
3.6 litre
they
wheels,
look
right?
fantastic. Yeah, they do. They look awesome. Yeah, and I mean, the big tell on them really is the bolts.
Yeah.
Those bolts are the... And I don't think you can buy the individual bolts. You can buy the bolts individually. So when you come to service them, you have to reuse these bolts, which in theory I don't think is recommended, because like I think they're supposed to be a one and done kind of
the
use.
torque on
because
it?
they get torqued, they get stretched a little bit, and you're supposed to throw them out.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But yeah, no,
It's
that's super cool.
Yeah, they are great.
Yeah. And I see you're running Michelin Pilot Sports.
Mission Pilot Sports, exactly that, which are great.
Nice.
Great, they're perfect.
Yeah, how do you find them?
Yeah, I love them. I don't think I'll get anything different, if you know what I mean. I think they really fit in with the car as well, weirdly enough.
Yeah, they do.
And
They got just a nice amount of curve on the shoulder, and
Exactly
the tread
that.
pattern is nice.
Yeah, they're not
and then
too bulky.
the fact of the matter is they perform well in the wet and in the dry, really.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, I don't need to worry about them really.
I've got to say that, you know, of all the cars that we're lucky enough to have filmed on this series, like what's called the Michelin seems to be the tire that you see on
Is it
everything.
really?
Yeah, it really
That's
is.
pretty mad,
Really,
isn't it?
yeah, shoulder and above everything else.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's what we tend to see.
Well,
Them.
there's probably reasons for them as well, right? They're one of the best, I suppose.
Yeah, they really are. They
Yeah.
really are.
No, I
Super
like
cool.
it.
Okay. And have you done any more mechanical work to the car?
Mechanical
since you've had
work?
it?
No, I'm still thinking, toying with maybe doing a couple of mods on the engine, but I'm still unsure.
Should we pop the deck?
Yeah. So you got it on the other side.
What kind of modifications are you thinking?
Bigger turbo.
Okay.
Maybe I think it's the KO4.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
probably then just change with the wastegate. Oh, it's probably oh no, it just gets a bit hot.
Okay.
That bit, just the metal on there gets a bit hot onto it.
Okay, cool.
But it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
It's really clean inside, so it kind of makes me not want to touch it too much.
Sure.
It drives beautifully, pulls, and yeah, it's really nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
I love it a lot, everything
Nice.
about it. But yeah, if I did, it would probably be a turbo upgrade, and then maybe some more. I don't know, maybe some more little bits and pieces. But like I said, you can hear in my voice, I'm very toyed in between both keeping it as is or changing it about.
Well, either way, whatever you decide to do is your car, your rules.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the best thing about it.
Yeah, as long as it puts a grin on your face.
Oh, it puts a big grin on my face. It's got a, there's a G-pipe on the exhaust, so it just pops and crackles like anything.
Does it?
Yeah. And that always puts a smile on my face.
Awesome.
It's just ridiculous. It's borderline silly,
Yeah.
I think, with the G-pipe, but it's great.
So it's just a G-pipe on the right-hand side?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
I'm gonna embarrass myself here, but
Go on.
from memory, I believe the 3.3s, one side is the turbo and the other side is the exhaust gases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah. And
So it's only on one side.
yeah,
I'm taking
so
out the muffler and sticking the G-pipe. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let me just double check that. John? Can't even see you. John, the 3.6 turbos, they came with the exhaust tips. Both tips were exhausts, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Just fact checking.
You got to these days.
Yeah. Well, if there's someone who knows a lot more than I do, it's him. So yeah. John is the
guy.
John is the guy. John is the guy. We have a great relationship. I break things, he fixes them.
That's what it is. I love that.
Okay, before I embarrass myself anymore.
We can keep going.
Yeah. Cool. So tell me a little bit about how you use the car. Is it for high days? Do you do any track miles? Any European
you know what? I'm
tours?
thinking. I'm definitely doing a European tour next year.
Okay, cool.
I didn't get a chance to do it this year. I wanted to go out. A few of my friends do it each year, but I didn't get a chance this year, just work purposes. So next year I really want to do some European miles on the car. Track-wise, I've never taken it on the track.
Okay.
And I'm still toying of the idea of taking it, but I feel like I would like to do a track with a proper track car.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. There's a very big difference in between taking a road car on track.
Exactly that.
Especially at this age as well.
Yeah. So for me, it's not necessarily. It doesn't get hidden away. It does come out quite a lot.
Yeah.
I do drive it a lot, so it's just a case of it's a nice cruising car.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
so what European trips would you like to do with it?
You know what? I want to go down to Italy.
Yeah.
That's what I would love to do. I'd like to go all the way down to Italy and do a little trip around Italy with it. I think it will be a beautiful drive. I've never done it with either car really, so it'll be a big thing for me to do. It'll be just a group of us to go out, take some nice cars, go for a good drive down to Italy.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, right.
That's cool. And any changes to the running gear, or are you all running stock? I mean, the car looks a little bit lower. So
yeah, it's got the
B16s.
Yeah.
Okay.
B16 coilovers, which I think I wouldn't go higher or lower. I think this is actually really nice height for the car. Yeah. Obviously, anytime you put coilovers on the car, it gets a very bumpy ride, but it's not horrendous, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
It's not a bad ride, but yeah, that's the only thing really is suspension had a bit of an overhaul with the B16s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Super cool. Oh, okay, I'll leave that.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll sort it out later.
That's cool. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's just the back of the car, isn't it, on these?
Yeah, no, they do look great.
Yeah.
They look really, really cool. Cool. So have you got any other plans of what you want to do to the car? Any more modifications? Anywhere else?
No, apart from the obvious badge, I think the car itself, I don't think personally it needs any more modifications on the exterior at all. I think everything as it sits is great. The wheels are fantastic, the arches are great. The only thing, like I said, is potentially doing some engine mods to it. But the rest of it, I'm very happy as the stock look.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I really like it. I think it's just such a lovely car to change about, I suppose. But it's got PPF, so it's got a protective film over it as well, which is good.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
not everywhere, but on quite
on
a
the
lot
essential
of the parts.
bits,
Yeah,
leading
exactly.
edges.
So it's on the bumpers, on the edges, on the arches.
Okay.
Just to hold that paint and work a little bit more.
Super.
Yeah.
So do you have any memorable memories with the car? Any road trips, big ones you've done? We're talking about a 5-hour road trip you did?
Yeah, well, I went up to go see a friend who lives towards like Leeds way, and then we took it out for a really good thrashing around the country roads around that way. So that's really fun. Yeah, nice. Like any time you unleash this and you hit 3,000 revs upwards, it just screams at you. Yeah. And it was really, really good fun. And so that was good. And it was weird. I've never really let someone drive my car when I'm the driver, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I let my friend drive it, and I could just see his smile on his face, and it was good. It's good. So yeah, that's a nice little moment of my car.
Super.
I've only had it for 2 years, so I haven't had much crazy experiences with it just yet. But I do want to take it to Italy, or take it somewhere in Europe anyway, and go on those lovely country roads over in Europe.
For sure. And I saw you've got air conditioning inside the car. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that'll help you.
That would definitely help.
I remember
But was it really hot?
I did. What was it? I think I did about 3,600 miles across Italy about many years ago now, and in a 964. And
Beautiful.
I didn't have any air conditioning, unfortunately, in that car. And I was in Bologna in 45-degree heat, and it was just absolutely, it was.
I can imagine
show,
that
really.
was a fun drive.
Yeah, so there are a lot of people out there who are like, oh yeah, I did an aircon delete, lost a few kilos. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But in the real world, if you're going to do big road trips,
You want a bit of AC. Yeah,
bit
exactly.
of AC works really well for sure.
I mean, a couple of kilos is great, but if you're going to track it, I can see why. But if you're going to leave a car like that, then there's no point really.
But even so, even if you track a car, depending on how often you track it, really, the biggest improvement you're going to get is going to be out of driver training. It's not going to be the few kilos you take out the boot.
Well, right, exactly. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. But so hopefully next year will be the good year for a nice little drive with this baby.
Sure.
I take it out as much as I possibly can.
No, it's a really cool car. And how do you find the engine? Because this is, my understanding is that they didn't have enough time to develop the 3.6 by the time the turbo came out.
That's right.
So they put in the 3.3.
Yeah.
And how do you find the 3.3 in this body shape?
You know what? I love it. I think it's great. I don't think, obviously it's not the quickest of quickest, but I don't think you need it in these sort of cars at all. It kicks in and it kicks in nicely and it sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
It sounds really, really lovely. It's a strong engine. It pulls beautifully. I don't think it needs, obviously the 3.6 is the ultimate, isn't it, right? Don't get me wrong. But
well, it depends. So I don't have any experience with the 3.3 in a 964 format.
Okay.
My experience with 3.3 has always been in 930s.
Interesting.
And for me personally, for an air-cooled turbo, it's kind of the epitome.
Yeah, okay.
Just because you get that huge amount of lag, and when it comes in,
it does take a while. You're right.
And and for me, that's a riot, and it kind of epitomizes what air-cooled turbos are about.
Yeah.
I found that the 3.6 turbo, because I had one for many years.
Yeah, lovely.
Was awesome, but in a different way. It was very refined, and actually I thought had a lot less lag than the 3.3. So it was. I mean, again, it depends on how you define better. Better is subjective.
That's
so
also true.
Really, I found if you're looking for like the real old school kind of feel, the 3.3 was awesome with that lag.
This is why I love Porsche classics anyway, just because of how you are one with the car, if you know what I mean. Everything you do affects what the car does, and the noise, everything that comes with it. So you may be right with that. The 3.3, I haven't experienced 3.6 at all.
Yeah.
But for me, for this car now, that is perfect.
Yeah.
That engine is great.
No, they're both great engines. It just depends on what you're out there looking for, really.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, the 3.6 is a good one.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Okay, awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for bringing the car in.
Oh, pleasure.
Yeah, it's a really, really pretty example, and I look forward to hearing about your stories in the future of Italy and all the rest of it.
Yeah, maybe we can get a good group of people and go for a big drive.
Yeah.
No,
cool.
Appreciate your time.
Cheers, dude.
Thanks, mate.